Which is better, Monster Hunter World Iceborne or Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak? Now, this is a question I have wrestled with for a while, especially after spending quite a few hours in both games. In World, I have over 2,000 hours, and in Rise, I would say over 600 on the PC and a few hundred-ish more on the Switch. Now, the short version, in my opinion, obviously, I would say World, but the answer is not so simple. Monster Hunter World came out in 2018. That's a good 5 years ago, and was later released for the PC in August of the same year. And it was an instant hit, easily. I play on the PC primarily, and I was blown away by the beauty, the creativity of the game, the little details from sous chefs to bugs in their journeys, the endemic life actually being alive. The combat was no slouch either, and is still amazing. The beautiful hit lag when you hit a monster in the head with just the right amount of weight to make you feel like you are actually fighting a monster or going toe to toe with these gigantic monsters, and they did and do feel very gigantic. It's safe to say the reception was really good. Then came Rise, heavily anticipated after the success of World and Iceborne, the game to continue the hype train, especially with the new converts to the Monster Hunter series like myself. And it was amazing. I'm not sure what you'd expect to hear here. It was amazing. The fidelity was great, the draw distance from high up in the mountains was really good. All in all, it was an amazing game for the Switch. And that's the key thing, for the Switch. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it was a bad game in general, but this game came out for the Switch. I think this is where the complications start. The first and major being expectations, the hype train. Due to the success of World, people expected a continuation on the Switch. But at the same time, forgot it's the Switch. They expected the massive depth of world to work on the Switch console. I keep saying that to make you aware that the game was made for the Switch. And this comparison is not fair. Once you saw Monster Hunter Rise as a standalone game, for example, you'll be blown away a second time just realizing how good this game is and what they managed to achieve on the Switch console. I can compare both with an analogy, for example. It's like having a second born syndrome, following a brother who's a world class surgeon, with 2 decades of experience performing brain surgeries, heart surgery, and every surgery under the moon, compared to a younger brother in high school dissecting a toad with a bread knife. Now, when you put both next to each other, the older brother sounds like a godlike surgeon, but if you never heard of the elder brother, you would easily see how magnificent an achievement it was dissecting a toad with a bread knife. Please don't try this at home. To make the situation worse, Capcom ported Rise to the major consoles and PC. The comparison just became worse. If we were to go back to my previous analogy, you can then now imagine the younger brother becoming a resident in the older brother's hospital. As good at it as he is, there is no way anyone would forget the older brother is the main star. As the game was developed for the Switch, they would have designed the game to fit within the limitations of the Switch. Porting over the game would essentially still be the same game, maybe with some better graphical upgrades, frame rates, which are always nice. This is like making some really nice ramen and then plating it with the Queen's China. No matter how good it looks, it's still going to taste like ramen. Any other expectation would have required the developers to recreate the game from the ground up, which is unreasonable, as you can imagine. So, in conclusion, if you have a Nintendo Switch, you should give Monster Hunter Rise a run. You will definitely enjoy it. And I think this is what it comes down to. What platform do you have? If you only have a Switch, then it's an amazing game to play on the Switch. Now, if you have one of the bigger consoles, the bigger platforms, then I would say give World a run. You'll be blown away by how amazing the game is. And again, if you can afford both, go for both. But if you have both platforms and you had to choose one, I would say choose World. It's 5 years old, but you would not know, and a lot of players are returning to it, which is a really, really good sign. Well, these are my thoughts on both games. If you have a different opinion, maybe you think Rise is a better game altogether, please, put down in the comments. Let me know what you actually do think about the two games. On a larger scale, though, I do have some changes I'd like to see in the next Monster Hunter game. I'll be making a video on that, and I hope you guys stick around to see that. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye.